Welcome to the DIY Honda Garage channel. The DTC P049D refers to an issue with the EGR, exhaust gas recirculation system, in the Honda Pilot models from 2016 to 2022, indicating that the EGR control position has exceeded the learning limits set by the vehicle's engine management system. This code is categorized under the PGM-FI, Programmed Fuel Injection, fault codes, which monitor the performance and efficiency of the fuel injection system. The EGR system plays a crucial role in reducing nitrogen oxide emissions by recirculating a portion of the engine's exhaust back into the intake manifold. Its operation is monitored by the Powertrain Control Module, PCM. When the PCM detects that the EGR valve cannot maintain correct positioning or exceeds its operational limits, it triggers the P049D code. Troubleshooting this issue is vital not only for compliance with emission regulations, but also for ensuring the efficient performance of the engine, as a malfunctioning EGR system can lead to poor fuel economy and increased engine wear. The following slides will detail the symptoms, possible causes, and the systematic troubleshooting steps necessary to address this diagnostic trouble code. The EGR system consists of several components that manage the flow of exhaust gases back into the engine's intake. The primary component is the EGR valve, located along the intake manifold chamber, designed to open and close based on engine load and conditions to recirculate exhaust gases. Additionally, the PCM is responsible for monitoring the EGR valve's position and operation, utilizing various sensors to ensure that exhaust gases are being correctly manipulated. On a mechanical level, if the EGR valve is stuck open or closed, it can lead to suboptimal engine performance, including increased emissions and engine knocking. Specifically, under certain operating conditions, the system must learn and adapt to varying levels of gas recirculation. And when it fails to do so within established parameters, it will trigger the P049D code. Recognizing the essential functions of these components helps in diagnosing the underlying issues accurately. Several factors can cause the P049D code to activate, with the most significant being a faulty EGR valve. If the valve is worn or damaged, it may not respond properly to signals from the PCM, leading to incorrect positions. Additionally, electrical circuit issues can impede communication between the EGR valve and the PCM. Poor connections, damaged wiring, or corrosion can result in intermittent failures that trigger the fault code. Furthermore, carbon buildup and sludge accumulation on the EGR valve can restrict its movement, limiting its ability to close fully. This can confuse the PCM about the valve's position and exceed the learning limits set by the system. Therefore, addressing these potential causes is vital to rectifying the issue represented by the diagnostic code. When the P049D code is present, drivers may notice a range of symptoms indicative of EGR system malfunction. Primarily, reduced engine performance can manifest as decreased power or sluggish acceleration as the engine struggles to maintain optimal combustion efficiency. Additionally, the vehicle may show increased emissions, which can lead to failing emissions tests and increased environmental impact. A rough idle may also occur, as the improper flow of exhaust gases alters the air-to-fuel mixture that the engine relies upon for smooth operation. Moreover, the check engine light will likely illuminate, prompting the driver to investigate further. It's crucial to monitor these symptoms closely, as they can signal broader engine issues if left unaddressed. The first step in troubleshooting the P049D code is to verify the issue using the Honda Diagnostic System, HDS. Start by turning the vehicle's ignition to the on mode, but do not start the engine. Once in this mode, clear the stored DTC from the system using the HDS which will reset the fault memory. After clearing the code, turn the vehicle off completely, and then switch it back to the on mode after a brief pause of about 10 seconds. Finally, check for any pending or confirmed DTCs again with the HDS. If the P049D code reappears, the problem is confirmed, meaning the system has duplicated the failure. If it does not reappear, it may indicate an intermittent issue that requires further inspection of connections and terminals related to the EGR valve and PCM. In the second step, the EGR valve's operation needs to be assessed to determine its functionality. After clearing the DTC once more, turn off the vehicle and disconnect the EGR valve by removing it from its mounting point. After the valve is removed, reconnect the 5P electrical connector to observe the EGR's position when the ignition is turned back to the on mode. This is crucial, as it allows you to visually check the operation of the EGR valve. Ideally, the valve should move to its fully closed position when commanded. If the EGR valve does move as expected, proceed to the next troubleshooting step. However, if it fails to reach the closed position, this may signify a mechanical or electrical failure in the EGR system. The third step focuses on checking the EGR valve's physical condition for any obstructions. Begin by ensuring the vehicle is off and disconnect the 5P connector from the EGR valve. This allows for an unobstructed inspection of the valve itself. Look for signs of sludge or carbon deposits, which can drastically impair the valve's performance. If significant buildup is found, it can be cleaned to restore functionality. However, if cleaning does not resolve the P049D code upon retesting, then the EGR valve should be replaced entirely. The integrity of the EGR valve is essential, as a malfunctioning valve can lead to repeated DTC codes and poor engine performance, thereby necessitating prompt action. Next, a thorough check of the wiring associated with the EGR system is imperative. First, turn the vehicle off and disconnect the EGR valve's 5P connector once again. With the EGR valve disconnected, a continuity test must be conducted to ensure there are no breaks in the EGR PG power ground wire. This will involve checking the continuity between two designated test points, one at the male terminal of the EGR valve connector and the other to the vehicle's body ground. If continuity is present, this indicates that the EGR PG wire is functioning properly, allowing you to progress to the next step. Conversely, a lack of continuity suggests there is an open circuit that must be repaired, ensuring stable operation of the EGR system and ultimately preventing further recurrence of the P049D code. In the final troubleshooting step, further examination of the EGR wire is required, particularly in relation to the PCM, Powertrain Control Module. First, use the HDS to jump the SCS, Service Check Signal line, and then wait more than a minute to allow the system to reset. Following this, disconnect the PCM's C connector, specifically the 51P terminal. Again, continuity must be checked, this time between the EGR valve's 5P male terminal number 5 and the PCM's connector number 13. Confirming continuity here indicates the EGR wire is functional. If continuity is confirmed, further recommendations involve checking for authorized service information or replacing the PCM with a known good unit for testing. If the P049D code disappears after substituting the PCM, that would indicate the original was faulty and should be replaced. Once all potential issues related to the P049D code have been resolved through the prior steps, a final verification process is essential. Begin this process by using the HDS to recheck for any stored DTCs after reassembly. This will confirm whether the repairs adequately addressed the root cause of the issue. The EGR valve's operation should also be visually revalidated to ensure it moves as expected during the system checks. Additionally, it's essential to confirm no further diagnostic trouble codes are present in the engine's control module memory. If everything checks out successfully, the repairs can be considered complete. Always document the process for future reference and ensure the customer is informed of the diagnosis and any repairs made. Preventive maintenance plays a crucial role in avoiding the recurrence of DTC codes like P049D. Regular inspections of the entire EGR system are essential to assess the condition of the valve and surrounding components. By keeping the EGR system clean, you can significantly reduce the likelihood of carbon buildup, which often leads to valve malfunction. Additionally, using high-quality fuel can prevent excessive deposits and promote optimal combustion efficiency. Adopting a scheduled maintenance approach ensures that all vehicle systems, including the EGR, function at their best, thereby prolonging vehicle life and maintaining engine performance. Remind drivers to be attentive to any symptoms relating to performance declines or idle irregularities that may indicate a failing EGR system. In summary, understanding the P049D code and addressing it promptly enhances both vehicle performance and environmental compliance. The EGR system is crucial in controlling nitrogen oxide emissions, and its optimal function is integral for a healthy engine. By following the systematic troubleshooting steps outlined, technicians can pinpoint the cause of failure effectively and implement necessary repairs. Incorporating preventive maintenance practices ensures that issues are mitigated proactively, keeping the EGR system in good condition. Ultimately, maintaining awareness of performance symptoms related to the EGR will help keep the Honda Pilot running smoothly for years to come while adhering to emission standards. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.